How's everybody doing, Boys and Girl Club members, students and parents? Hope everybody's doing, everybody's safe and healthy. So my next math implement game, I'm gonna try to implement kind of like basketball with a little bit of math here and there. So I don't know if you heard about like your percent shot chance, how they calculate it. So I'm gonna try to implement that with like, let's say with the math section called probability. Basically what probability is like, they're gonna give you kind of like a scenario. So let's say you have a fruit basket with just oranges, apples, and bananas. And so you're blindfolded and a person has to stick their hand and try to take out one of their fruits. And then a person's gonna say like, what's the probability of you taking out an orange? And you know that if you have more oranges on the fruit basket, then you have a higher chance of taking out that fruit. But if you have less oranges on that fruit basket, then you have a less chance taking out that fruit. So that's how basically probability works. And then it's also the same thing with the shot percentage of like the players in the NBA. So I'm gonna call this game probability buckets, right? So the things that you need is just throwable objects, a bucket, paper, and pencil, because this is where you're gonna do kind of like your math stuff, your math work, okay? So for your throwable objects, I mean, you can find like if you have a set of like balls or something, you can use that. You can also try to use like fruit oranges, but I mean, I don't really recommend it because I don't want you to like tear your fruit and all that. But what I'm using is just like paper that was just like used, or I just crumble it up and just turn it into a ball. And I'm just using like 6 in total, 6 papers in total. And I'm gonna do kind of like in 2 scenarios. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna have regular white paper, just like regular white paper. And then I have another set that are marked with like red, like they have like red stuff on it. So I'm gonna have 3 and 3, so I'm gonna have 6 in total. And I'm gonna do 2 scenarios. The first scenario I'm gonna do, what's the probability of making just the red, right, the red balls. And then I'm going to do the other scenario, well, what's your shot percentage and how you calculate that. And so now, for the bucket, I don't really have like a basketball or a little basketball thing. So I'm just going to use what I found. So this is what I found, and you can use any type of like bucket. I'm using basically what in the kitchen, like stuff like this, like anything that's open, like you can use. So this is what I'm using. So this is where I'm going to throw the stuff inside of. Okay, so I'm gonna show you, right? So basically, depending how far you are from the bucket, right, it's gonna be harder because you have to throw it and make it. So here, so I'm gonna give you like kind of like the scenario case. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna start the scenario where what's my probability of just making the red ones. Okay? Just making the red ones. So, I know that I have 6 paper balls in total. 6 in total. 3 of them are red marked, right? 3 of them are red. 3 of them are just plain white. Okay? So this is how you do your probability, okay? So let's start shooting this stuff first, okay? Like the little ball. And then we'll count them at the end. So, alright? So I recommend throwing 1 and 1 each. So start with the red one and then the white one. And the red one and the white one. So you're gonna have like a 50-50 chance, like it's more like probable. So I'm gonna pretend, so this is the white one. So I made it, okay? I'm gonna do the red one. I missed. Okay? The white one, I made it, right? Let's do the red one. Ooh, I made that one, right? And I say the white one, I made it, and the red one, I made it. So I missed 1 red, and I made everything else, even the white ones, alright? So in this scenario, basically, so let's write it down. So you have to first do a fraction. So you do a fraction first. You always, in the bottom, you always put the total amount in the bottom. So our total is actually 6 in total. And then I'm saying what's my probability of making just the red ones. So whatever you say the probability of just making these, this is where you put them. So I only made 2 red ones out of the 6, but 3 of them were white, okay, in this scenario. So I only made 2 red ones. so it's 2/6. So here, it's pretty even. You can actually simplify to make it easier. So this is actually, so if you divide this by 2, you get 1 here, and you have 3, so it's 1/3. So you have 1/3 here, so I simplify here. Okay, so I'm going to show you how you get your percentage. Okay, so generally to get percentage, I know that 1/3 is 0.3333%, but if you know that, it's fine. All you have to do is this. So in order to get your decimal, you can just do this. So you do 3, divide that by 1. Do it in division form, okay? So you know that you can divide, right, 3 to 1, so you add a 0 at the end, so you add a decimal here. So 3 times what? What's something that gets you close to 10, but doesn't go over it, right? So 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 3 is 9, so yeah, 9. So 3 times 3 is 9, so you put 9, so 10 minus 9, right? It will be 1, so you have 0. So you see here that it keeps on going to 10 and 10 and 10, so it keeps on repeating, so it's 0.33333. So that's your decimal, okay? So your decimal is 0.333, and it keeps on going, okay? So you can either multiply this by 100, or I can show you an easier way. All you have to do is, you know that there's 2 zeros and 100, so all you have to do is move your decimal 2 places to the right. So you move it twice, 1, 2, and your decimal's right here. Now it turns to percentage. So your percentage is 33.3%. So that was the percent, right? The probability of just making the red ones out of those. Okay? So that's my percentage. Alright. So now we're gonna go to how they calculate like the shot percentages. Okay? So the shot percentages is pretty simple. It's basically the same thing. Remember how we said that you always put the total amount always in the bottom. So in this case, we're gonna treat all the ball one color, okay? It doesn't matter the color now. So there's 6 in total. So now we have to know how many do I actually make. So what's my probability? What's my shot percentage that I make? Okay? So basically, all we have to do is retrieve all the paper from over here, right? And now we have to shoot, right? So if you want to give yourself more of a challenge, you can go a little bit further back, right? Like most NBA people, they do the 3-pointer, right? Shot percentage. So that's kind of harder because it's further away, right? It's harder to make 3-pointers, and the better you are, right, the more you make, and right, your higher percentages, right? Your shot percentage. So let's say this is my distance. So I'll have 6 in total. So I'm gonna shoot. Dang it, I missed, right? So I'm gonna shoot. I missed that one. I made this one. I made this one. Ooh, I'm in a roll. And then I missed that one. So I made 3 and I missed 3, right? So I know that I have 6 in total. And then I'm gonna count the ones I did. So I made 3. So 3 were made. 3 were missed. So I'm trying to find the probability of me making it, because that's the shot percentage. When they calculate shot percentage, is how many you actually made, and not the one that are missed. There's also the percentage called shot miss, or they call it differently. There's also that, but you can do either or, right? In this case, so I'm trying to find the shot percentage that I made. So how I said, you always put the total amount in the bottom. So our total amount is 6. And then if I say I want to know the probability of the shot made, you always put whatever you want to find that you actually made on the top. So I made 3. So it's 3/6. So let's simplify this. Divide this by 3. So you get 1 at the top and then 2. So I get half. I know that half is 50%, right? 0.50, which is basically like 50% because it's half and half, right? But if you don't know that, it's fine. We can do the regular route, which is 2 divided by 1, right? So you always put a decimal, you always put a 0, because you know that 2 is bigger than 1. So let's try to do, right? So 2 times 5 is 10, right? So we can do, right? So 2 times 5 is 10. So 10 minus 10 is 0. So my decimal is 0.5. It's 0.5 actually. Okay, so my decimal is 0.5. So you can either move the decimal right twice, or you can multiply by 100. So in this case, let's try doing it by 100, right? So 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times 1 is 5, right? And then you have your decimal places once, right? So it's only one space, so you only have to move it once here. And it's basically the same thing if you just move it to the right twice. So it's 50%. So that's my shot percentage, 50%, which is pretty good. But I mean, they're not as great for the NBA because NBAs are like way higher. If you're a 3-point shooter or whatever shot you want, and they have to be higher than that. But yeah, so basically, this is how you can implement probability into just shooting buckets, and how you can implement math in ways. And now you know how you can calculate your shot percentage. So when next time when you play basketball, you can calculate your shot percentage, and you can say to your friends, my shot percentage is 78% on the 3-point line, because out of the 20 basketball shots that I did, right, when I said my percentage was 70, right, that's about like 15, right, 25, 16 around there, right, somewhere around there, right, depending on your percentage. But yeah, so basically that's how you implement math into like basketball.